So I have many clients that come in who explain to me that they are struggling with several sleep kind of like problems. So, and you might have one or all of the above, but let me explain to you some of the ways that sleep problems can manifest. Hi, welcome to the Judy Torel Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize every body 50, 60, 70, and above. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Judy Torel Show. I am Judy Torel, and if you're joining me on this episode, then you are on episode number 5 of my 6-part series on supplements that may be beneficial for you if you're a male or female who is over the age of 50, 60, 70, 80, and beyond. I've been doing a series. This is number 5. And so today, what I'm going to concentrate on is a supplement that's going to help with one of the presenting issues that many of my clients over 50 come into, with as an issue or something that they're struggling with, and that is sleep issues. So I have many clients that come in who explain to me that they are struggling with several sleep kind of like problems. So, and you might have one or all of the above, but let me explain to you some of the ways that sleep problems can manifest. So number one, oftentimes people over 50 years old, 50, 60, 70, they can't fall asleep. So you're tired and you get into bed and then your mind is spinning and you're just finding that the ability to fall asleep is elusive. So that's one way that people will tell me that they're having difficulty sleeping. Another way is that they don't have an issue falling asleep, but they fall asleep and then they wake up prematurely in the middle of the night, oftentimes between 2 and 4 o'clock. And then they can't fall back to sleep. And this may or may not have to do with having to go to the bathroom, although that could be a reason you get up to go to the bathroom and then you get back to and you can't fall asleep. But oftentimes it has nothing to do with having to go to the bathroom. You're just waking up and then again, like mind is spinning and unable to fall back asleep. So that's a second way sleep can be disruptive. And a third way is you fall asleep, you sleep while you're sleeping, but then you wake up prematurely, and it might be between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and now you can't get back to sleep. The people who are waking up prematurely can often get back to sleep and then may even wake up again. But this third type of sleep disruption is you wake up and now you just cannot go back to sleep. So now you're up from like 2 o'clock in the morning until you have to get out of bed at 6 or 4 o'clock until 8 or whatever. So it's not a disruption during the night. It's like I'm awake and now I'm awake and I did not get, and in all these 3 forms of sleep, disorder, you're not waking up refreshed. Okay, so therefore there's a problem. Now, a lot of clients, they go on the internet and you read things, you look things up, and a lot of clients who have any one of those 3 or a combination thereof will tell me that they've tried, everything to help, fall asleep. They don't want to take sleep medications, but they've tried all the things that are over the counter. And the 2 most prevalent ones that people will try are melatonin, which is a hormone that is directly related to our circadian rhythm of awakened sleep. And they'll tell me that it didn't make any difference. And I can understand and explain why. Melatonin can get thrown off if you work swing shifts or you have, sleep times are very eclectic, through the week for you, or you're traveling through time zones on a regular basis, or you've traveled through one, on a vacation or something, and now you're off your rhythm. And melatonin has a natural circadian rhythm of rising as you approach sleep. And that's one of the things that helps us to go to sleep is melatonin. But if your melatonin circadian rhythm isn't thrown off, and that is not the reason why you can't fall asleep, taking more melatonin is not going to help. And that is what a lot of clients come in and tell me they've tried the melatonin, it doesn't work. A second supplement that is highly recommended to aid in sleep is magnesium. There's a product called Calm that's out. You'll take it in the evening, and the increase of magnesium through your system is, again, one of the things that we can take that will help you to fall asleep. It is directly involved with muscle relaxation as one mechanism. But again, if you are not deficient in magnesium and you take magnesium to try and help you fall asleep, it's not going to do anything for you because that is not what is awry and what is causing a sleep disruption. What I have found for many of my clients who are 50, 60, and 70 is that their sleep disruption is because their cortisol hormone, or stress hormone, as we all know it to be, is off. All right. So cortisol is not, like, despite what we think, cortisol isn't bad. We need cortisol. When you have Addison's disease and you can't make cortisol, you quickly realize that cortisol is a necessary and good thing in our body. It's when it gets excessive and or goes off its rhythm that it becomes a problem. So cortisol has a circadian flow in our bodies as well. And it's the highest in the mornings because cortisol is a stress hormone. It's getting us ready for getting out of bed and, facing the world, attacking our world, our day. And you want that to be high in the morning. And then it has a natural rhythm where it goes down so that when you go to bed, it's at its lowest point so that you can sleep. All right. But what happens to us 50s and 60s, we're still in the workforce. We've got kids. We're still, gliding through the initial parts of their lives. We have elder care, compounding issues. We have our own health issues. There's a lot of stressors going on. So cortisol isn't doing its natural circadian rhythm. And in some cases, almost like reverses. It's actually spiking up at night. Or if not spiking up, it's too high at night. And then you're in fight or flight and you're trying to go to sleep, or you fall asleep, but you're dreaming and your mind is on, with a cortisol spike higher than it should be when you're sleeping. Your dreams are, I call them persecution dreams. And you're just in fight or flight in your dreams. And then you wake up and then you can't fall back to sleep because you're literally kind of like your cortisol is too high. You're revved up for, running away from a wild mammoth that's chasing you, which is, evolutionarily what we were running away from, what would stress us out. But we're in bed and we don't have that going on, but your dreams will wake you up. So cortisol and being under high stress, if that is what is causing a disruption of sleep, then that is what needs to get addressed to help you to sleep better. And we all know sleep is so important. It's involved with, helping our bodies to rejuvenate and repair. REM sleep is correlated with helping our minds to kind of compartmentalize all the data information that's come in through the day so that you can face the next day with more data coming in. It kind of like cleans up the brain, organizes things. And if that's not happening, both physically and mentally, we are not on our game. And if it's happening, repetitively and for an extended period of time, then we're really not on our game. So one of the supplement that I'm talking about right now in this episode that many of my clients that are 50 plus, I'll recommend that maybe they try, and I've gotten very good response back, is something called ashwagandha. All right, ashwagandha, it's an over-the-counter herb. It's in the ginseng family. I do recommend, if you're going to try it, to use the liquid because of the absorbability, liquid or powder over a pill because of the absorption. It's just more readily absorbable. And I've talked about in this series how our digestive systems are older and less efficient. So if you can take something that's more easily absorbed into the bloodstream, that's going to be a benefit. So ashwagandha is a plant. The roots itself has the higher percentage of the elements that are going to help you with the sleep so I'm recommending you look for a product that has not just the leaves, but also the roots included in it, in the liquid form, but it'll say on the bottle it includes the leaves or roots or both. You want the roots in there, even if it's not exclusively roots. And what ashwagandha does is it helps to mitigate neurohormones in your brain and cortisol, so that you are now going to help your own body bring the cortisol levels down so that you can sleep more restfully, that you can fall asleep more readily, that you're not waking up prematurely, and that you're not having trouble falling back to sleep when you do wake up. So ashwagandha, you'll follow the dosage on the bottles, and I will tell you the story I like to tell my clients when I'm talking to them one-on-one on this. I recommended this to a female mid-50s, and she came back to me in a follow-up session and said to me, "Oh, by the way, that ashwagandha that you recommended, I am now a ashwagandha pimp." And she said tongue-in-cheek, but she meant it. She actually would carry samples of it or her bottle of it so she could talk to people she came in contact with who were over 50 who were having sleep problems, because it was such like a game changer for her. So, fifth supplement I'm recommending in my series on supplements for the over 50, ashwagandha root in a liquid form. And as always, I want to say, check with your doctor if you're on any other medications, and even if you're not, just in case there's some interactive effects, or your pharmacist. I will tell you right up front, if you're a male and you have a hormonally sensitive prostate cancer diagnosis, then you do not want to take ashwagandha, because it will reverse, you're going to be fighting, your body with that diagnosis if you're taking the ashwagandha. So you are not going to take that. I know that right up front, but there's other things that your pharmacist or your doctor can, tell you right away whether or not ashwagandha will interfere with any other medication. So always check with them first. But if you don't have medications and your sleep is disruptive and is affecting your life in a real negative way, then I strongly recommend you look into this, research it further, and it might be a supplement that you want to add to your arsenal of things that you take to make your second 50 years even better than your first 50. So always, thanks for tuning in, everybody. There's one more episode in this series, number 6, so be sure to check in for that. And if you haven't listened to the prior 4, check those out as well. Be well, everybody. Thanks for listening, everybody. And if you'd like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judytorel.com.